the latest DC finest has turned up. Hawkman, Wings Across Time. Now, I read this earlier in the showcase format, but looking through this, brilliant in colour. It's even better, I think, actually in colour. Restoration is superb. 560 pages, $39.99. I paid about 22 quid for it. And the stories are from 61 to 66, and you've got Matter Master, IQ Gang. Also, you've got the Shadow Thief, Blth, and many, many other characters. Adam Strange turns up, Zatanna. Also, Atom. Of course, you've got Hawkman, Hawkgirl. And the stories are Brave and the Bold, 34-36. That's 34 to 36. 42 to 44, 51. Also, Mystery in Space, 87 to 90. So you've got Adam Strange turns up. You've got Atom, issue 7, and Hawkman, 1 to 11. I think they look great. The artwork is exactly the same size as a normal DC comic. So you've got here, obviously, this one's Atom, but you've got the Hawkman, and the artwork, as far as I can see, looks absolutely exactly right. However, the covers are definitely not. Now, the covers, of course, match the actual comic art in here. So if you go to the comic page, the covers, you can see there, the cover there, but it's shrunk. It's shrunk compared, obviously, with a DC comic. So you can see there, the DC comic, you've got Atom and you've got the Brave and the Bold, definitely smaller. However, it's not a big deal, but I did notice it looks smaller than in previous volumes of DC Finest. I'm not certain why, and certainly slightly smaller than the ones that you can find for the same comic in the showcase book. Lots of these stories are two stories in a single comic. So when you actually go to the contents, and I must admit, initially found this slightly confusing. I looked at it, thought, oh, that's a bit strange. You can see the contents there. Now, the early ones are Joe Kubert artwork. Gardner Fox did the stories, but then it was Murphy Anderson later. But he got here 1961. But some of them you can see you've got one story there, and then you've got two stories. So you've got the Menace of the Matter Master, and then the Valley of the Vanishing Men. Lots of stories are sort of science-based. There's a very science theme, like invisible things and various Thangar technology, because they're from Thangar. They're police officers from Thangar. Now, Sharia, I don't know how you pronounce it. I've never probably said her name wrong. And Carter are great characters. I love the relationship between them in here. And also it's nice when there's like the Atom, Ray Palmer and Jean Laurent as well turn up. And also, of course, in Adam Strange as well. A lot of those sort of stories, you can see parallels in each of the comics. Iris West, of course, and Barry Allen, and many others. But there's definitely an element of science fiction that runs through all this. And this one, The Man Who Moved the World. You've got the Shadow Master, where you've got a game where you've got this, near enough feels like a Green Lantern story. There's a scene where this guy gets a thing. Oh, you got here, you can see a craft there. I thought first, it's Green Lantern, but it's not. It's a device, a dimension mater. Rotating disc. However, of course, there's a complication. Use it too often and there's a problem for the world. And we find out, of course. And of course, the world is saved at the last minute. You need that, of course. Menace of the Dragonfire Raiders. The first story actually sets the scene. You've got them coming to Earth. They're going from Thangar because one of the criminals from Thangar goes to the Earth, which is really lucky. But they travel down to stop him. And after that, there's mentions of Thangar, and they use Thangar technology all the way through it. Obviously, you've got here the wings and all those sort of things, but they didn't really have that many stories. And I was quite expecting a lot more, and I felt like Strange Adventures, Mystery in Space, Green Lantern, that they could have done a few more. Maybe later stories are set more on Thangar. I guess that's probably the case. But I thoroughly enjoyed the artwork, definitely. Joe Kubert, just brilliant. One of the best. Again, I've been saying about various omnibuses. It'd be nice if they did a Joe Kubert omnibus. Probably be very hard to include all of his work, but still, you got here the Masked Marauders of Earth. Now, I've just shown you the Atom, but I have also got, let's just quickly go to this here. You got the showcase one. Now, I don't know if there was, someone will point out and tell me, I know there was a DC Archives, the Golden Age ones. I assume there have been some, and I should have checked, shouldn't I, that there was some Hawkman DC Archives. I don't know. I know this exists. I think they also had a volume 2. So I think there's you've got that, you've got here, Carter and Shearer, I don't know. Patrol the skies of Midway City. Ooh, actually, that's quite useful to know. I've forgotten what the name of the city was. Midway City as Hawkman and Hawkgirl. The Winged Wonders, as it says there. Really love this one. But for some weird reason, cover's slightly bigger in this than the DC Finest. I don't know why that was, but still, the stories, the actual artwork seems to be the same in there. But this is great, and I love that one. But also I've got this, and of course I'm not going to find it straight away, so I did find it straight away. Typical. Here is the only bit of Hawkman Golden Age I've got. So you've got this great example here. I don't know when it was, but this again, Gardner Fox. And Shelley Moldoff was that person. You see the artwork. I love this one. Brilliant. I would love them to bring out a DC Finest of the Golden Age ones as well, because obviously they've got 1961, but that doesn't mean that they can't bring out earlier volumes to include all the Golden Age ones. It will be brilliant to see. Whether that happens, who knows? But let's get back to the good old DC Finest Hawkman. And you got this lovely Aztec story. I really enjoyed that. But I enjoyed many of the stories. I loved, also you got Aquaman as well. I completely forgot about mentioning Aquaman. Great little one. And also you've got Birds in the Gilded Cage there. The covers are included obviously with all of them. And because you've got the weird split. So, oh, here it is. The Zatanna story. That's what I was looking for. There's the Zatanna story. Then onto here, World Where Evolution Ran Wild. And of course, there's some great bits there. They are this one story where they actually get turned into sort of weird sort of, yes, there they are. All good stuff. However, we got some robots. We got some very weird creatures. Lots of various creatures obviously flying. I love there's some scenes where they talk with birds. They don't seem to use that often. Maybe that was something they didn't want to use. But occasionally it offers a female of the same species, clearly. And you've got Hawkman there. I love that bit. That's quite a good bit where they got an eye teaser. What a thing to put in. But they did that sort of thing in DC Comics. Not certain that's the sort of thing they would have ever thought of included in a Marvel one. And you've got here various mirrors as well. Many other stories. Lots and lots of great stories that really worth it. This is a weird one. When I looked at this, I thought, the Angel. That was my first thought. I thought, oh, the Angel. No, it's not. It doesn't actually look like the Angel at all. It looks more like one of the characters from the Daredevil comics. However, his name is Shrike. Shriek? Maybe Shriek. I don't know. But still, I love this book. Really, really nice. I'm really pleased I picked it up, especially since it's got a good old Atom story. Now, I really hope they bring out an Atom DC Finest. Obviously, there's 2 volumes of the Atom Showcase one, so I assume that there'll be 2 volumes of that. But Aquaman and Hawkman. I love that as well. I always wish that The Brave and the Bold had continued with these stories where you actually had that. But instead, of course, they went full on Batman. I was never a fan of that. I really, really liked the fact they did the early stories. You had like Starman or something, and say Hawkman, all those sort of characters turning up in this. But this one, absolutely love it. So you got the showcase, you got this now. I hope they bring out Hawkman Volume 2. I will be definitely looking forward to that. Or I shouldn't call it Volume 2. You know what I mean, the 67, 68, 69. It's not going to be a Volume 2. That is one thing that DC have done sensibly. By not limiting it to a volume number, it means that they can dip back and bring out, albeit maybe a big or maybe small, Golden Age one. Hopefully, if this is a success, they will do that, because there's a lot of great material available in the Flash comics, because he was in Flash. I don't think he never had a starring role, but hopefully at some point. So are you going to pick this one up? Have you got this planned? You've got it pre-ordered, or have you got it ordered and it's coming? Hopefully. I think it's great. I really, really love this one. I'm looking forward to the next one. Looking forward to virtually all of these DC finest. So Hawkman, Wings Across Time. Like or dislike, why not? Also, please subscribe to the channel. Bye.